Sunday Morning Matters.
Perspectives
from Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene and you're with Durian ASEAN. Today we have a topic concerning not just entrepreneurs, but a unique kind of marriage between technology and entrepreneur, which is technopreneur. I have Asyraf Rahman. He's the winner of the WIEF, or World Islamic Economic Forum Idealab 2015, a startup empowerment platform. And he has created a very unique product he will share with us later. But now I just want to welcome him to the studio. Hi.
Hi, it's good to be here.
So hi Asyraf, how do you feel being the winner of Idealab 2015?
Well, it's actually good. It gives us a lot of confidence, gives us a big confidence boost, especially to my team members.
I see. So you work in a team, right?
Yes, yes, we do. We have a team. It'd be difficult for me to do this on my own because it's technology and there's a lot of brains involved in everything that we do.
Before I go further with WIEF Idealab, which I will ask a lot more on that later on, I want to know what's the difference between technopreneur and just a regular entrepreneur selling technology.
Oh, okay. Good question. My opinion of what a technopreneur is we are actually in the process of creating the technology itself.
So you are an inventor. You see yourself, or at least I see you.
You would say so, but most of the works are done by my team members. Mm-hmm. We supply the direction and the idea, but they're the ones who are doing the inventing. Mm-hmm. So in essence, it's basically the company that's inventing the technology.
I see.
Right.
So being a technopreneur yourself, how did you stumble upon this platform called Idealab? And perhaps you can share more what Idealab is all about.
Okay. So basically, Idealab was introduced to me by my partner, who's also the co-founder of this company, Ideasparq, and he was the one who was very active in it. And the thing about Idealab is it's a platform where we could share our ideas, new businesses, and especially startup businesses. And what I saw when I was there was a lot of the new companies were actually exploring new ideas and concepts in the market.
I see.
Right.
What kind of concept and ideas that are that is the trend right now that people are talking about?
The biggest trend especially in technology at the moment is Internet of Things, and so basically it's your common household items even is connected to the internet, and you can control it, and you can know what's going on with it from your phone, from your from a website. That's one of the biggest things that's going on. Also in Malaysia, I think social entrepreneurship, as well as more of the online based businesses, is actually, these are the two things that are actually growing quite fast in Malaysia.
So these are I guess people that you were competing with, I mean the ideas that they came out with during the Idealab competition.
Right.
So WIEF is organizing this. Why they are organizing things like Idealab when the original WIEF, as far as I know, focusing more on the macro side of it, which is economy or Islamic economy?
I believe this is part of the economy as well. I mean, when you empower startups, especially if some of the startups actually become successful companies, they will actually empower the economy. And so I think that's why WIEF is in the process. I mean, they're actually helping these companies to try and grow them and see where they can go in the future. And
what's the difference between platforms like Idealab than our locally based Magic? Which is also building entrepreneurs or technopreneurs in this case.
Well, I had a chat with Shabana, who's the PR of WIEF, and one of the things that really struck me was the connections that they had with other countries. And in fact, even when we went to Idealab, we had companies from Myanmar, even Philippines, pitching in Idealab, and so I think that kind of network is what we need, especially when we get introduced to investors also who are from other countries.
I see.
I'm not sure.
So they were investors actually observing you guys?
Yes, there were.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah, the interesting thing is we had interest from Singaporean investors for our company. And,
Oh, wow.
And hopefully we'll be able to pursue that.
I see.
Yep.
Share us more about the people there. I know you won the challenge, so that means you were more kiasu than whoever that was from Singapore, because
Right.
since it involves all the ASEAN countries.
Right.
But you can share more about what are the ideas that were pitched and some of the things that were discussed during the whole event.
Some of the more interesting ideas that struck me was one of this. You know how laundry is usually a manual thing. You get into your car with your laundry and you send it to the laundromat, and you have it clean.
Oh really? You don't
Right.
wash yourself?
I do.
So convenient nowadays.
But what one company was doing there that really struck me was, I mean, you make it online and you just have an entire app ecosystem that helps you to manage your laundry. So they come and pick it up. You can set appointments with them and everything, and they'll come and pick it up. Yeah. And so it makes things a lot easier for you. You don't have to think too much about laundry. And I thought that was kind of a novel idea. So those are the kind of things that you see in Idealabs and
it is a noble idea, but I don't think parents will like. You'll be like, son, why are you not doing your laundry? My app is doing it for me. What are you talking about?
We're coming into a new age.
So what are the other ideas besides laundry management?
I don't remember actually. Okay, yes. One of the other interesting ideas was there's this, halal food business is becoming a big thing in Japan.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Why?
The reason why is they want to attract tourists to come into Japan, Muslim tourists. The thing about Japan is it's mostly, I mean, for Muslims, if you go there, the only thing you can eat is probably fish. And so,
that's why sushi probably.
Right, exactly. And so a lot of Middle Eastern people, they don't eat fish. They eat more meat, mutton and all this. So they want to attract these kinds of people. First thing they have to do is settle the food, and so that's what they're doing. They're bringing in a lot of halal. They're trying to bring in a lot of halal businesses into the country, especially around the tourist locations. And so it's a very big thing at the moment, and that's why one of the companies actually is a company that's trying to match local Malaysian or other Muslim countries, the businesses that are halal from these countries into Japan.
How do they do it? Using technology, I mean.
Yeah, they're mostly like a media. What they do is they look at what's going on in Japan, the market trends and all that. What are the requests by the people in Japan, and they try and match you like a business matching kind of platform.
So it's like if OkCupid but business version, is it?
Something like that. Yes,
I
something
assume.
like that.
Why people never think about that before?
Yes.
So there are a lot of really interesting and innovative ideas.
Yes.
But you also emphasize a lot on the networking side of it. Tell us more about what did you learn or people that you met during the whole challenge?
Right. We met a lot of startup companies, and they are all, from what I see, they are all mostly technopreneurs, so to speak, right? They create online apps and even mobile apps, and that's important for us because we need to know what's going on out there, who we can partner with, and that's why when we met some of them, we actually struck up a large conversation with them, and we found out that there's actually things that we can do together. So for example, we developed the technology and they developed the software that handles the web version of our technology.
Wow.
And so those are things that are actually quite good for us. And at the same time, we've also met with some of the NGOs, and one of the NGOs is actually the My Harapan, which is a social enterprise NGO, and they've also got things that we can work together with. When I talked to the CEO, she mentioned that we could pair with apprentices from her activities. Basically, there are people who they train for entrepreneurship, and they want to partner them with us to help us also in our business, in running our business, which is actually quite good.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
What about technopreneurs, from other countries that what kind of interesting, I guess, information that you found out about them? Because from my own personal reading, they in Southeast Asia, an emerging, I guess, technology entrepreneurs from Vietnam is coming out a lot, and they are very organic in terms of the way they do things. Right. They don't rely so much on the government. Right. So these are trends that you see, but maybe you can share more, because you mix with a lot of people there.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't have the chance to meet anyone from Vietnam, but we all know Vietnam is coming on strong with technology. And we're hoping that one day, through WIEF especially, we'll be able to meet with these entrepreneurs and be able to hook up with them, create technology with them. Because the thing about ASEAN is we're individually small countries. We need to be able to work together so that we become stronger to meet countries like China and US. And so I'm looking forward to meet them. At the current Idealab, I didn't have the chance to meet anyone.
I see.
Yeah, not yet.
I see. But when you were at Idealab, right? Why do you think platforms like Idealab is really significant to technopreneurs like yourself? Again,
Malaysia is such a small country by itself. We've got 30 million, a population of 30 million people. Our business market isn't that big, and we really need to connect to countries in the ASEAN region because they are larger compared to us, especially in terms of population. If you look at Indonesia, 280 million people. And so WIEF provides us with this platform. It makes it easy for us to meet them. Yeah.
And they also connect you guys to investors, right?
Yes, that's the interesting part.
Tell us more about the investors.
Okay, so when we pitched, the panel of judges were actually the investors. Yeah, so they, apart from just scoring us, they were also gauging whether our businesses were worth investing in. And so even before we pitched, they were coming to our booths and actually checking out our products. And after the pitch session, they actually came to my partner and told him that they are interested in actually investing in us. And so we've got interest from not only local investors but also Singaporean investors. And because the exchange rate is so nice right now, we're looking forward to seeing if we could set up a discussion with the Singaporean investors.
That's amazing. Yeah. Anyway, we'll take one short break. When we return, we will discuss more on his idea and how he won through his robotic.
All right.
Monday Morning Matters.
Perspectives
from Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene. You're back again with me and of course Asyraf Abdul Rahman, the winner of Idealab 2015. And if I'm not mistaken, your challenge is actually Ideapad.
Right.
So what's the difference? Pad Lab.
So Idealab is the event, and the program where we actually pitched to investors and they scored us was called Ideapad.
I see.
And so this Ideapad concept started in Dubai, and when they were doing it there, they actually Idealab actually received good reception on Ideapad, and so they're planning to continue this into the future.
Oh.
Yeah, and so we were lucky to be able to pitch to investors. I mean, there were quite a number of people who actually sent in their applications, and we were among the 12 who got selected to pitch to investors. Yeah.
So tell us more why you deserve to be the winner. I know the judges have their own mind, but why do you think they choose you?
Okay, this is a bit of a humble brag. Okay, so this is my opinion of why. One of the reasons why is we've got a verified market demand. We've already started. We've been doing this business for 3 years, and
which is your Ideasparq.
Yes, Ideasparq. Yes, we were in.
What business is that? If you can be more specific.
Okay. So basically, Ideasparq is a company that manufactures. We develop and manufacture automated guided vehicles. So automated guided vehicles, in layman term, is basically an automatic forklift. So instead of a forklift with drivers and you have to fill in fuel. We actually have just one automated vehicle that does the lifting of products for you inside your factory.
I still don't understand. Maybe you can put it even more later.
Right, exactly. So when you use a forklift, you need a driver for a forklift. It's like a vehicle, right? And the times when you use forklifts are mostly for managing goods. You want to take something from here to your production line, or you want to take something from your production line.
And usually it's manually done by one person.
And it's manually done by a driver. And forklifts, like any vehicle, you need fuel. You need, you use diesel usually, or even LNG, the gas, the cooking gas.
The cooking gas.
Yeah, you actually see them carrying the gas at the back. And so these things involve costs. And not only do they involve costs because they are handled by a human, and sometimes they tend to, once they get used to driving, they tend to rempet a bit. So, yes. So
there you go, Malaysians. I know.
So what happens is you'll see a lot of property damage and even injuries because of accidents inside. And so what we do is, instead of using a human and a real forklift, you replace that with a vehicle that is automatically driven to the location and back from that location from your store. And so you're actually handling the logistics of your products inside your factory without any human intervention. It's completely automatic.
That's really cool.
Right.
So your idea, right? Which part of your idea that you put into the competition?
We actually pitched the AGV itself.
The whole idea, the whole thing, the whole concept of
the whole thing. And so I think one of the things that made it attractive was exactly that. The market is really ready for it. When we start to see our customers, a lot of them are extremely receptive to it. One of the reasons why is Malaysia as a manufacturing country is slowly losing its competitiveness to our neighboring ASEAN countries.
Oh yeah, definitely we are.
Definitely, right? Yeah. So in order for us to remain competitive, we need to be able to reduce our costs and increase our efficiency. And what our products provide is cost reduction. You don't have an operator handling each of the machines. You probably have just one operator handling 5-10 machines at one time. You don't use fuel, so you're actually using electricity, and it's a whole lot safer. So you're actually saving your people and your property. And at the same time, we also pair it with software, so you actually know where your stuff is actually going at any moment in time.
Oh, I see.
And if you're using forklift, you can't really tell. I mean, it's basically just on paper. They're saying, okay, I've sent this part to this item to this place, and it's not real time. You actually have to collect those paper and come up with a report.
I see.
So this one, the machine actually tells you, okay, I've arrived, these items are sent here at real time. So you know, and you're able to monitor the production of your goods at any time.
How did you come up with such idea? Like, I never thought of that. I mean, like, yeah, just send it.
Yes. See, the thing is, our family owns a manufacturing company. We manufacture parts for the auto industry, Proton, Prodo, and Honda. And so, as a result of watching people work in this actual factory, we found out that this is a problem for us. And so, I partnered with my co-founder, Hassan, and we said, let's explore something like this. And we looked for people who are talented in coming up with these kinds of technology, and we worked together with them, and eventually it came to fruition. And it was partially a gamble because we needed it. We don't know if others needed it, but as we went out to see other customers, they say, oh wow, you actually have this, let's do this. That's the interesting part.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you come up with that idea. But why do you think that people would want to buy it? Why?
Okay. Yeah. I'll give you an example of our own factory. We've got about 7 forklifts inside. And what we plan to do is, by the end of the year, we want to introduce 5 of our own AGVs. And with the introduction of these 5 AGVs, we're able to save about $500,000 a year in costs.
Oh, wow.
Right. And so that's why people want
So it really reduced the cost without reducing the quality of your production.
Exactly.
Chain, right?
Right. It's really one of the easiest targets for you to do cost reduction in.
I see. So during the whole pitching of ideas,
Right.
Who else that came up with an idea that was slightly sort of like your competition in a way?
Actually, I don't think there was any.
There was any?
Humble
So
brag.
you're the best. Okay. No wonder you beat up the Singaporeans.
What we had was a combination of hardware technology as well. We make our own hardware, and as well as software technology. And I think that's the reason why there wasn't any other companies that were in the same thing that we were doing. Most other companies that I saw that were pitching, they were mostly doing software.
I see.
Right, and that's why I said there wasn't any other company.
Yeah. So the selling point here, you're doing both software and hardware.
Right.
Just like Apple.
Yes, hopefully one day.
Anyway, what are the key questions that the investors or the panel of judges were asking you?
Of course, one of the things that they were asking us is how do we compare to other AGV makers, and in particular they were actually comparing us to Kiva Systems, which was actually purchased by Amazon. Basically, the difference is Kiva Systems is an e-commerce warehouse management AGV provider. Basically, what that means is if you are as big as Amazon, where you're selling products that are very popular, and also that products that probably get sold like 1 unit a year, something like that, right?
Oh, wow.
So very small volume.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to manage that kind of inventory as well as fulfill your orders as fast as possible. And Kiva Systems comes up with technologies that actually optimize the layout of your warehouse in real time based on these orders. So that's them. And for us, it's basically because in Malaysia or even in this region, there aren't those kinds of companies yet, not Amazon-like companies. So ours is basically solving the problem of when we do production, what is the flow of products in and out of our factory. When you're doing it manually, you don't know what's going on. How much of my inventory is actually being sucked into the production line, and how much is actually being produced.
I see.
And sometimes what happens is people actually overproduce or underproduce or even over-order goods because they have their stuff everywhere inside the factory. And so what we do is we come in and we advise, look, this is how you're going to set up your entire factory. And based on that, you use AGVs so that you reduce costs, and you're also able to monitor your inventory movement.
Yeah, basically a factory expert.
Basically a factory logistics provider.
Okay, there you go. Anyway, so we will take another one short break. When we return, we will discuss more on the future of technology.
Excellent.
And how Malaysia can take advantage of that.
Right.
Monday Morning Matters
Perspectives
from Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene. You're back again with me at Durian ASEAN, the Durian Hit, and of course, we are also with Asyraf Abdul Rahman, the winner of the Idealab 2015. So you share a lot of your product early on, and also a lot about Idealab and Ideapad. I want to know more about the future of technology, in particular, technology that can bring Malaysia one step forward towards better quality of life. I guess a future that we envision something that looks like Star Wars. I don't know, but in a way that from your observation, do you think Malaysia is ready for technology?
There are challenges, I'm sure. One of the biggest challenges is we are not alert and not open to new technologies as much as the US or China or even the Europe is. I'll give you an example. In the US, even normal programmers, I'm a programmer, so normal programmers like me, they contribute to new technology every day. We don't do that. We only consume technology.
But how can people contribute to technology in the US? I mean, how do they do that?
Open source is a big thing now. It used to be just open source software, people say, right?
I see.
Now it's open source design of products, it's open source hardware, electronic components. Everything is now open source. It's actually a good way to protect your IP. But it's also, because it's open source, everybody is contributing to it, and what happens is you get new technologies that are developed faster, better, cheaper, and more accessible because they're open source on a daily basis.
I see.
And we're just not open to that, and that's the biggest issue that Malaysia has.
But why we are not open to that? Is it the attitude of society, or is it government being too obsolete?
This is my opinion based on my personal observation. Maybe we're not trained when we go into computer science degrees in Malaysia, right? We're not trained to actually go ahead and try something new, you know. So we're more of a technology consumer. We say, okay, use this. This is the most, the most stable, most best technology in the world. You use this and don't use anything else. Yeah,
that's true. You know, if you go to website, you know, like technology review would be the number one for Malaysia. It's like, where is the best software for this or best hardware for that?
Right.
But we don't really invent stuff.
Right. Exactly. We're technology consumers. Even programmers are technology consumers. We just consume whatever technology is out there. We don't actually contribute to making new technology.
I see.
And as a result of that, we don't have the capability or even the confidence to actually develop new technologies.
So where did you get your confidence?
I gave it a shot. I tried to contribute to open source open source developments. And as a result, what you find is...
but do you have to go all the way to Silicon Valley to whatever country that is advanced in technology?
No, it was just basically emails and Facebook messages with...
Everything happened in your bedroom, I guess.
Right, exactly. In my underwear.
So, tell us more about... if you go and look at documentaries of how young people, I guess, in the US, because they make a lot of documentaries out of it, usually it will be like, a kid in their own room or in their garage, just doing their own thing as a form of hobby, and then their parents give full support, and then they become this rebel child. They want to do everything, and then they end up becoming successful in technology as well as in entrepreneurship. What about the Malaysian story of this?
Actually, there's quite a lot of rebels in Malaysia now.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. The only thing is, the difference, like you said, is the environment. You have the investors who are willing to take risk on you, and also you have the parents who are willing to take risk on you also.
In Malaysia, you'll be like, what? You're not going to be a lawyer? I'm going to make you a lawyer.
Yes. But it doesn't mean that it's not happening here. It's happening here. I mean, it's just the pace is probably slower, and the challenges that these boys face, these boys and girls actually, challenges that they face are a little bit higher. But I see that there's a spirit there and they're not giving up. And so there's still hope for the country. What we just need to do is be more open to new technology. And
you have, I think early on off air, you share with us a story of a company that took 18 years to be successul. Maybe you can share that.
Well, I wouldn't say they took 18 years to be successful. They were probably successful every year of their life. But they started in a grassroots level, so meaning they probably had the vision of becoming a technology company, and they are now. What they do is they do cleaning machine solutions for the hard drive industry. So your hard drive needs to be cleaned before it actually becomes assembled, because you don't want any dust in it and all that. So they have the most advanced technology in the world, as far as I'm concerned.
In the world?
Yes.
And in Malaysia?
Yes.
Wow.
In Malaysia. And in fact, when they export to countries like Germany and all that, they're like, customers are like, you from Malaysia? Really?
So they actually have their product, stamp made in Malaysia, and being sold to countries like Germany.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's an achievement.
Yes. And so that's why I'm quite amazed. And the thing is, they started out at a grassroots level. They started out as a company that services these kinds of machines. Then once they got the traction from customers, meaning customers trust them, and they also got the knowledge about these machines, then they start saying, okay, let's why don't you try us? We make a machine for you and see how it goes. And so that's how they started to develop machines.
But 18 years, that means there were a lot of setbacks. Maybe you can share with us, what are the major setbacks that Malaysian technopreneurs often face compared to other countries?
When it comes to hardware, it's the availability of the hardware itself. I mean, a lot of components we actually have to source overseas.
Can you share with us what is hardware for us who do not know what is hardware exactly? It's not like it's not like, let's say, Xbox, the hardware for Xbox.
It's exactly that. Hardware is something you can hold. So layman terms, something you can hold. So it's hard. So basically, in example, our product, the AGVs, what we have to do is we actually have to source the sensors from overseas because they don't make them here.
I see.
We also have to source the motors and the drivers from overseas.
So the parts, you're mentioning a lot of the hardware parts,
right,
are not being made here, and it can be made here, right?
We can, I'm sure. Yeah, it's just that, I mean, they're not. People just don't make them here. I'm not sure why. Probably because of the amount of volume that we have here to sell. It's probably not good enough. So people just don't make them here. So we actually have to source them from overseas. And these are some of the challenges. Whenever we want to give a good price and the exchange rate fluctuates like this, we suffer.
I see. So a lot of maybe not you, if maybe your peers who are also in the technopreneur industry, do they, especially with Ringgit Malaysia now, 4 Ringgit equivalent to $1, do they suffer a lot in terms of
in the tech industry? I wouldn't say they would suffer that much. The nice thing about technology is if you're developing technology, you probably can put a premium price on it also.
I see.
But in the manufacturing industry, yes, we are suffering because that's the most interesting thing. Also, we are importing a lot of our goods, especially raw materials.
I see.
Yeah. One of the other challenges which I forgot to mention also is talent. Talent is a big issue in technopreneurs in technology in this country.
When you say talent, can you define what do you mean? Is it a lack of talent or what?
A lack of talent.
A lack of talent.
We struggle to find good programmers, good developers for
But
technology.
every year we produce tons of programmers, isn't it? Or IT graduates.
Right. Not to produce technology. Just to probably make some small advancements or some small modifications to existing technology. Yes, they can do it, but to be able to produce new technology, as I mentioned to you, one of the most important things about new technology is you need to be familiar with what's new out there also, because if you're not familiar with what's new out there, you're actually using old technology to create new technology, which just doesn't make sense.
I see. So the problem with Malaysian graduates, is it because the education system is not being updated, I mean, in terms of the syllabus, or do you think Malaysian graduates, they are just chasing papers but they are not really in the zone, as in like immersing themselves in the trends and in the latest information about whatever there is in technology?
It's two things, I think. Culture, we're not used to innovation, we're not used to developing new things, and even when we do, people say, are you a local? Right, local, what are the one lah, we want Japanese or German technology. That's culture. And secondly, yes, I do think it's the education system. We're giving emphasis on the wrong things probably, because as you mentioned, Vietnam is really coming up. I mean, they're coming out organically, which is I think dumbfounding to a lot of the other countries in Southeast Asia. For example, I mean, Singapore has all the resources, but they are not producing creative people. Right.
I mean, the same with Malaysia as well. So there must be something happening in Vietnam that I don't know what is.
Right. I think it's their education system. Whatever it is that they're doing there is working really well for them.
But it's also because of culture. I think culture influences a lot. If the culture is based on, you just do what is being told and then just live comfortably out of it, rather than trying to push forward, innovate and do something even better.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. But I'm hoping maybe in the near future we'll start seeing new technologies coming from Malaysia, because we actually have to. We used to be a manufacturing country, and we're really strong with it. But that advantage is now slowly fading away. And I'm hoping that entrepreneurs and even companies, large established companies, start understanding that if we don't start developing technology, we'll be screwed. And so hopefully maybe in the next decade or so, we'll start seeing new technologies come from Malaysia.
So what are you doing right now as a technopreneur yourself, as also an expert in factory logistics? I mean, what are you doing your part in trying to produce the next generation that is more in tune with technology?
Well, when we started the company, that was our main goal. I mean, we knew technology now is accessible. We can develop it if we want to. And me and my co-founder Hassan, we decided, look, let's just bring in talent, the programmers, and let's just inspire them, keep pushing them. It was a big 2-year struggle for them, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they had moments where they were actually quite demoralized and stuff like that. And we just kept pushing them, don't give up, you know, keep going. And
you really chuchi them a lot.
Motivated lah, don't chuchi lah.
No, just kidding about that.
Understand. But we gave them a lot of motivation, and look where they are now, and they're very confident at the moment, and their spirits are high. And I see there's a lot of potential even in our small AGV industry. There's a lot of potential for us to develop and differentiate from other makers out there in the world. And so we're hoping that as we grow and people start seeing the company, and they start seeing, hey, this small Malaysian company can do, why not others, why not me? And that's what I'm hoping, and hopefully it becomes something that is contagious.
I see. Right. That would be great. It would be awesome. Anyway, thank you very much. Thanks for coming to Durian ASEAN, and hopefully that Idealab and of course our World Islamic Economic Forum can continuously bringing out really amazing, innovative people.
Thank you.
Thank you.